What if I told you immortality was real and we're all
Uh,
immortal?
is this like leading into Severance or something, or like are you talking like actual like immortal? I've heard that the oldest person that's gonna live like to 150 has already been born yet, so
First
that
off,
might as well be immortal.
hopefully they figure out how to fix our brain aging because otherwise that sounds depressing.
I was gonna say
Being
like I
150, like
being
just a freaking
80
potato.
sounds depressing.
Now
Like
hold on a minute. I mean, 80 right now
I actually
is
did
that's
learn.
still up there, but
I actually learned that Lionel Richie, he's like a judge. Well, I mean, he's much more than just being a judge on a American Idol. But Sydney watches American Idol, and I found out he's like 75, and he's like the best looking 75-year-old I've ever seen. Like I would think he's like 50 by like
I
how
would put
young and spry he looks.
I'd put although it's kind of starting to show, I'd still put like Samuel L. Jackson up there. That dude's pretty old.
I mean, I don't know how old he is. Samuel L. Jackson, 76. Wow, yeah, he's
Yeah. See?
he's up there as well.
But you wouldn't have been like, "Oh, he's gotta be nearly 80." I think he's doing pretty
No.
well for himself.
I mean, speaking of, Severance, I mean, Christopher Walken is, uh,
Wow.
81, and, like, I feel like,
Well,
he looks
see, he looks old, but to be fair, I feel like he hasn't looked older in the last, like, 20 years, though.
for sure.
So, he looks old, but he's aging pretty well because he's still just kinda consistent. But no, I was talking about science, the theory of quantum immortality. Reading the whole listening to a whole video about it yesterday on my drive to therapy, had to warm up the brain.
Okay, yeah, get
Uh,
yourself thinking.
of course. Yeah, right. Uh, and it was super bizarre. I mean, it's not quite a thinking experiment because there are actual scientists and there's theories that argue for it. But essentially, the explain like I'm five, Mr. Fruit dubbed down, bunch of misinformation, probably citing it incorrectly explanation would be that every time there's a test or like named after some dude. Couldn't tell you the name. The names are lost on me every time. They're like, "This
Doctor
is the
Venegas, I
Heisten."
think.
Yeah, this is the Doctor Wachtenwinde theory, and I'm like,
The Nazi zombie, like,
uh,
name.
yeah, I'm like, I already forgot it. But it essentially goes. One of the prevailing theories is that every time there is an event where your death is immediate but not 100%. Well, in fact, under this theory, it's never 100%. But so, like, let's say there's a theory they used a lot was like Russian roulette. Okay, so
Yeah,
I get a pistol,
yep.
load in one bullet,
I've played
poof,
before, you don't need
fill
to
the
explain
chamber.
it to me.
Okay, put it in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, now as the theory goes, once I pull the trigger,
Yes.
poop,
You're dead.
but I'm not,
Okay, so the
and I
bullet didn't
can
shoot.
I can do this over and over and over and over, and I will never die. But what's happening every time I do is it's splitting into multiple worlds. It's sort of like the different timelines idea, but the idea is that your stream of consciousness never stops, which is why there's the idea of quantum immortality, is because the you know is the one that keeps living.
Yeah.
Because once I pull this trigger, I'm dead, but I'll never know it because my consciousness continues on as the one that did live. So now there's a world that separated where I'm dead, but now there's one where I'm alive. And so it keeps going with Russian roulette, which is why theoretically, every time I keep pulling it, like, so let's say I am in the universe, like the way I tried to make it make sense is like I'm in the universe where
Mhm.
I roll the chamber, boom, bullets in the chamber. I don't know it, but
Yeah.
I'm going to kill myself.
Okay.
I pull the trigger. I'm dead, except at that moment, I just transferred to another universe where there wasn't that bullet. And so I keep pulling it. And that's why I'll never die, is because my consciousness keeps going to the universe where there wasn't one. So it just keeps essentially, that's the theory going on and on and on. And you can, uh, put this theory to test in other ways. It's not just like Russian roulette, but the idea is you essentially never die. You don't know it, but eventually, especially towards like the end of your life, quote unquote, you will realize this is a thing because as everyone else dies around you, or as like you get to a point where it's pretty depressing theory actually because you just completely degrade essentially slowly and slowly. Not just say like you're losing yourself, but like you
Uh-huh.
just keep somehow surviving. And yeah, it was an interesting idea, but
Now,
also
let me like not counterpoint this, but explain how I feel about that.
okay.
Uh,
Well, that's how we explain science, how we feel. Um,
so
Personally, I don't like gravity.
that
It
is
doesn't
not
feel
based
good.
in
So
science. That I don't know
exactly,
what sort
that's
of
what I'm saying.
science that is based in.
I don't know what Newton was
And
on,
well,
but
and like so that is kind of my point. So like humans, as humans, we love answers. Like we love having answers to things. We hate having something be random or not have some sort of answer to it. And I think death is like one of the biggest questions that you could possibly have with any sort of human, which I believe is why religion is like a thing because it's a answer to what people do after they die. And I have a very interesting theory for you. When you die, nothing happens. That's why when you're on this rock going a million miles in space, there is nothing that happens. So I believe that when you die, I don't know what happens, and I'm not going to pretend like I know what happens. So I think that is like the human way of trying to just be like, hey, maybe this happens, you know? But
well, see, I'm not doing it justice because like that was just sort of trying to
Dr. Richtofen gave it a little bit more
yeah,
like,
well, and there's like they try to use like actual science as to like that's why it's not just like, well, what if, but more like, well, looking at it, and there's a lot of stuff that goes back to like Schrodinger's box with the cat and like the electron, and if it goes in that some like the electron can either go positive or negative. If it goes positive, the poison activates, the cat dies. If it goes negative, the cat lives. But at that time, when the box is closed and the electron activates one or the other, both things are simultaneously possible. So there's like this whole idea, and then blah, blah, blah. And there are still well known scientists championing
mhm,
this one. It's not like the leading prevailing one, but there are still some scientists who are like, yeah, I think there's something to it. And they have some defenses because it was like, yeah, but like, what if? And they're like, well, this, and that.
hmm,
And some of them are like they're not the best. And it all sort of just always boils down to like, well, in every scenario, there is a 100, like in a scenario where there's 100% chance you will die, there's a 100% chance it'll happen, but not a 100% chance you'll die
mhm.
because you will die, but also you won't. So it's not a 100% chance you'll die. And so they go through the whole thing, and it's just an interesting thought experiment at the very least.
It is interesting.
But bunch of science stuff and has to do like there was like a cool line where
Ooh,
I believe this other scientist came to this guy like admitted whatever. It's like I don't get it because it's like in this theory where at every moment things keep cascading and multiplying or whatever. Like why doesn't it feel like my consciousness is being torn apart? Because essentially, if I keep getting ripped more or less like any of these things, like why don't I feel that?
yeah.
And and in reply, he goes, "Well,
Mhm.
does it feel like you're moving, like 50 million kilometers an hour towards the sun on
Nice.
a rotating orb?" And he goes, "All right, fair
Touche.
enough, because we are, but it sure doesn't feel like it."
No, not at all. Well,
So
isn't that
something
gravity
to think
or
about.
something? I don't know. I think that has to do with gravity. I don't really know though. I'm not a
I don't know what Newt
scientist.
was on about, but I do know that this is the GG Over Easy podcast. Welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. It's your boys,
Uh,
myself, and Rob.
so I'm just gonna cut to the chase because I have to hear about this. So, you've been
that
playing Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Woke, I think it's called.
woke
Yeah,
nonsense.
Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
Woke Shadows, something like that. I
Get
did
that
see
out of
a
your mind.
hilarious thing, and it was literally like, "Oh my god, my Assassin's Creed character's making out with a non-binary like character that's in the game," and then it's like the person like comments on it or like quote retweeted was basically like, "You have to go through so many dialogue like with a specific character to flirt with them and make this happen."
Knowing that this would be
Like,
the end goal, yeah.
like, like you don't have to do that. Like, and it's like,
And then to Assassin's Creed credit, they even quote retweeted and whatever. It's like, remember, guys, romance is always uh, optional or something like that. Where it's like you can always choose what you want, and that's the thing that always blows my mind is like it's there for people who care, and if you don't like, especially in like romance stuff. Like I was playing Kingdom Come Delivery, Deliverance too, and your lord Hans Capon, who you're like his bodyguard for and everything.
mhm.
Earlier on in the game, sort of earlier on, there's like a turning moment where it's evident that you can start to romance Hans. You want to.
Ah, okay.
And I just went, no. So I didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm not romancing Hans. Guess what? That's it. The end. Now, if I wanted to, I could have said yes and romanced Hans.
Nice ass, Han.
But yeah, but like that's it. That it ended there. I go, oh, that's not for me. No thanks.
Yeah.
The end. That like, and instead, I've got some side wenches.
Mhm.
Han's probably jealous, but like that's the whole point. A lot of these games, most of that stuff is optional. Not sure. Maybe there's some stuff like written into a story where there's a character that does something, or it is this, but like I was explaining it on stream.
Yeah.
Like, here's how I feel about video games. Because some people are like, what do you think about them doing this or that? And I'm like, well, I'll tell you. Is the game good? Yeah, but they did this. So is the game good? Yeah, but they had this person write it. Is the game good?
Yeah.
That's all. I don't care who wrote it. I don't care if some
Yeah.
non-binary person was, lead director of writing, or if this character did
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Is the game fun? Does it make for a good
It's
story? Now, see, there's arguments. Shadow's Shadow story is kind of butts. Like the writing's kind of bad.
mhm.
That's just the writing,
Yeah.
and
Which has like
I
nothing to do
hesitate.
with like romancing a non-binary. Like that doesn't affect the
Right,
writing. Like, you know.
right. That's just separate. But the gameplay and like that's the merits I would judge it on. Be like, okay, well, I'm gonna play it. Yeah, I don't really like the writing. I'm not gonna also try to then extrapolate. Well, whose fault is this? Why is it so bad? I'm just gonna be like, first off, in a game like this, Ubisoft has 20,000 employees, bro. Now, they're not all working on Assassin's Creed, but also the amount of people that worked on this Assassin's Creed, thousands upon thousands.
Yeah.
And you're gonna point at like one or two people and be like,
Yeah.
wow, way to
DEI
go.
hired. Like this is why the writing
Yeah.
stinks.
So I just don't care. For me, at the end of the day, I don't care what's being said about it before or what people want to think or claim or this or that. I'll play the game and judge it on those merits alone, on the actual game. And like Shadows, I don't like the story, but the gameplay's fun. Combat's good. World's beautiful. Uh, and
How
so like
many
that's the
hours are
stuff I
you
was like,
in?
I mean, like maybe 8 or 9.
Do you plan on like
I'm not
finishing
super
it
deep.
or?
Maybe I don't know yet. Um,
I saw at one
I
point.
don't think I'll finish it on stream, but
I watched a little bit of your stream for like maybe 2 minutes. But you were like almost like it looked like you were like base building, and it had like little kind of
oh yeah.
octagons.
So it's new to this game. You have like your hideout, and essentially, I mean, Assassin's Creed Valhalla had a hideout system too, where you built out your Viking village.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference was when you found the people or you got the resources or whatever, you just click like, oh, I want to buy this,
Yeah.
or like, oh, let's build this shop or build this infirmary or like whatever, build the docks, and then it would just show a little time lapse, and then the building's there, but you never got to customize it. So in this one, it's essentially the same thing. You get the resources. There's like critical buildings that do stuff like the Kakagura or whatever, which gives you like scouts.
Yeah.
And There's the blacksmith, which like you can forge with, and there's the stables, blah blah blah. Except now they just give you the giant plot of land, and you get to interact with it as much as you want. You get to decide where the building goes, how it's rotated, how it's oriented, is it connected, is it not? And later into the game, it looks like you can change like what is the roofing material out of, what are the walls made out of, what interior decorating is there, what about it's
Uh,
more
Animal
involved for
Crossing.
people that want to. Yeah, it's more involved for people that want to do that, and for people who don't, which so far I did a little bit, but for the most part, I'm like, you
Yeah.
just boop, boop,
I
like
like stabbing
they
people in
just
the
go about it,
back. Like,
right? So it's just like a little addition that I think a lot of people will enjoy. I'm probably not going to partake that much. I don't know. Maybe once I get more unlocks too. I don't know. Talk to me when I have like more roofs and walls and stuff, and then maybe we'll see.
mhm.
Uh, but so there's like that part of it, and the world's gorgeous. My biggest thing is it just feels cold, or
Mm.
like it's
Hollow?
yeah, that's dead is kind of the best way I could put it, because it's non-reactive. I guess that's the best way to put it. Whereas Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and again, every open world game I played since then, I keep comparing,
Mhm.
and maybe justifiably or not, but after playing a game like that, sure they're a little bit different, but like one of the crazy things about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is its reactivity to the player and the story and the events that happen, and its flexibility. So in Assassin's Creed, I'm passing a lot of villages and random things, and a lot of times there's just nothing there. It's just villages and random NPCs walking around, which is like maybe all right.
Yeah.
But Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, when I played it, I expected that. Like, oh, that's just a. Turns out there's 8 side quests. There's 20 different important characters. There's branchy storylines. Oh, I'm going to be in this random village for like 8 hours. I didn't see this coming. Assassin's Creed Shadows, you go by none of the like you talk to almost no NPCs, especially in the game as a whole. And then the reactivity to me, like stabbing or doing something is usually pretty tame. And then there's a couple of people like, what? But it's not that crazy. And it was early on that I think I felt it. There was like an overridden temple that was a bunch of ruffians and thugs and whatever, Ronin had taken it over. And it was like barricaded from the outside, and all the villagers and people who had been disruptive were like outside, like on their knees crying and everything. And I'm like, all right, like I got you guys. So I go in, Bennett, dun, 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 do some stealthy stuff, bop, 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 kill everybody. Sweet. Clear the place, get some loot, feels good. Go on top of the shrine thing, do the old Assassin's Creed, like,
Yeah, you like, "Ha!" Like, yeah.
yeah. And I jump into a haystack, and I get out. I'm like, you're welcome. And everyone's still just bent on their knees, crying. There's no one to like. I mean, I would do that in Kingdom Come Deliverance too. Walk out, and someone would be like, "Oh, thank you." Someone would come walking to me, right?
Yeah.
Dialogue options. Suddenly, I'm talking to them for 20 minutes. They explain things. They got a whole backstory about them. New side quest, which leads me to this person. Then I learn about all the people that had been disrupted, and then like,
Like, Ghost of
or even
Tsushima
like,
would have had, like, the same kind of thing. Like, you go to a village, you liberate the village, and you have some sort of side quest after that.
there would have been usually like some, or it just would have felt a little different. And Ghost of Tsushima, like definitely wasn't Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 level, but it
Mhm.
definitely felt more alive. Um, and in this case, yeah, I was just like, even just like, had I come out and the villagers would have been like, at least acting differently, or like thanking, or like being like praising, like they're out there knowing, or like finding people now and be like, all right, let's like just something. And it was just then where it's like, it's fun, but it feels just so cold. Like I'm just going here to here to here, but the world is
You just feel like you're
continuing despite
Mission Miller and just going around, like, kinda
right,
doing the
but
same thing over and over again. There's no life. Like,
yeah, doing the same thing, but the problem is to no avail. Like nothing is
changing
changing.
around you.
Yeah. So although the seasons do change and it's really pretty. But so that's
That's
like one of
cool.
my yeah, the main things of Shadow, like as an open world. I guess as I've played more open world games, that's something that I kind of look for. Like especially if you're going to populate the world with people like that. I just sort of expect that, and maybe that's fair or not, I don't know. But then again, like, going into it, that's why people are like, "Oh, what do you think of this Assassin's Creed? What would you rate it?" I'm like, "It's exactly what I expected," which isn't bad, but it didn't blow me away. But I was like, "This'll feel similar to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but in Japan," and it is. And you either know it's for you or you don't. And for me, it's still more the arcadey open world, go here, do this, collect this, move on. And you know what? I like that sometimes. Like, it's not rein uh, reinventing the wheel or anything, but every now and then, I just need a game like that where it's like, "Oh, stealth, kill some people, get some loot, check that hideout off, cool, go to the next."
Yeah.
Um, but then I was playing a little bit off stream, and I think I noticed another one. There was like a butterfly side story. It's like one of the ones you get, or there's the origami butterfly that are hidden in like Osaka. There's like 10 of them. You have to find them. And as you do, you start to realize like some of them have like letters on them. And it turns out they're using these origami butterfly to use as messages for this like kidnapping ring, like child kidnapping ring. They're like, well, this isn't good. I need to find these kids. And I would like stumble upon the kid and they're with the kidnapper. And so I'd show up, but as I walk up, the lady already just starts running, and then it's like a chase scene, and it's just like kill them. Like it's just like assassins, and I kill them. And then you have to do that like 4 times, and then you find like the ringleader, brief dialogue, immediately just kill them, and it's over. And it just felt so, and like I was sort of finding things out
Hmm.
of order too, and it didn't react. Like the same thing would just play like, oh, I should probably find this kid. I just saved this kid.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Okay.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it would be like, "Oh, that's that guy I just saved. Good, but there's probably some more out there. Let me check."
Interesting.
Like Kingdom Come Deliverance expects like, "Okay, you might have already done this. If so," or like Baldur's Gate 3 or something where it's like it's already accounting you to do something different or go around it and then it reacts to that.
Yeah.
Whereas this was just like if this, then this every
It
time.
like builds around the play, like Kingdom Come Deliverance builds around the player, like in real time, and Assassin's Creed, it like wants you to just stay on this like linear path because that's how they intended it to go. Which,
But and
is obviously how you don't play games. So
well, and I think again the weird part too was I was finding all these people that were supposedly kidnapping these kids, and then I'd immediately get to them. And before I even get to them and they like supposedly notice me, they're already on alert running. Where again, I'm gonna compare it to Kingdom Come Deliverance. I was kind of expecting, oh, I'll get up there, maybe it'll start a dialogue. I'll walk in, maybe talk to the person because they don't know who I am yet or what's going on. Maybe I'll suss out why this is happening, if they're innocent or not, and decide from there where to go. And instead, it's just get close, go kill them, and just skips. Like there's just none of that. And it was just that of like it really is just like pretty on the rails. Do this, and then the story of that little side mission too. I was just like, this was just such a throwaway. Um, so where it's like, yeah, if I'm gonna keep playing, it's because I like going out hideouts, playing sneaky, killing everyone, getting loot, getting some new skills. Next,
yeah. Well,
and that's Assassin's Creed Shadows for me.
hi, Mr. Westlow, by the way. I don't know if you saw this, but Asmongold has been playing it, and as you know, Asmongold is quite the polarizing figure in the woke community, almost a pillar for those kind of gamers. But basically, it's like a clip, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll probably like finish Assassin's Creed. Like, I'm having fun." And then this chat's like, "Well, you don't have to like force yourself through it." And he's like, "Well, I'm not forcing myself through it." He's like, "I actually like I'm having fun." And it's just like so funny how like badly his chat wants him to hate the game, and like he just doesn't like super hate it. And I
I mean,
just
that's the same thing I was talking about. Where it's like they've already made up their mind. Like they could play the game and it would be fun too, and they're like, "This is woke. Like I hate it. It's this is too." wait until the game comes out. And then sure, if they played it and they're like, well, actually, I just don't like it because this, and this, and like those, like, well, the writing isn't as good and the side stories don't feel as fleshed out and the world isn't reactive. I'd be like, okay, sure. But instead, it's just, it must be bad.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it.
I was gonna
And
immediately bring this up as soon as I heard you guys talking about it.
yeah, it's just so funny that like his chat like literally wants him to hate it so badly. And he's like, it's fun. Like I'm having fun.
Who
Like,
Well, it's funny because he spent literal at this point years, uh, building up his anti woke uh perception of the game, and then he likes it, and now his chat is like, wait a minute, I don't have someone to tell me what to think anymore.
Which, I mean, to his credit, at least he's like, if he's just liking the game, he's not, at
yeah.
least in this instance, not like forcing something or whatever. Just being honest.
Um in other news involving Assassin's Creed, Mr. Fruit had some
I'm racist.
yeah,
Wait, what?
yep, Mr.
No.
Fruit is racist. I would love to hear the details of it because I watched like your Assassin's Creed video and I was like, oh, that was like cool. Like maybe I'll pick it up or something like that. And then I scrolled down and saw like your pinned comment. Would you like
No.
to explain the controversy of what was your Assassin's Creed video?
Well, let's just preface by, we're talking about like some of the anti-woke community,
Yeah.
There's two sides of the spectrum. They both go too far, both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the really like just like completely like based on no merits aside from like don't put women in games essentially or like whatever, right? It's like they're on the far end.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also another far end on the other side. And I think this was a bit of that case.
Okay.
So I uploaded my Assassin's Creed video. Cool. And then I went live because it was the embargo because I got early access. I got the code for free.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, I'll play it and might as well make a video and try to like release it
Thank you,
when the
Ubisoft, for the
embargo is
code.
because like, yeah, and like, I don't know, if people watch it. Maybe the best chances when I can get it early on.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm working on the thumbnail that morning beforehand. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I spent like 2 hours on it. And video goes live. Then I'm streaming. And like probably 34 minutes after video goes live, I get some comment in the stream or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, Mr. Fruit, what do you think about everyone calling you like a racist on today's video? And I'm just like, what?
What a way to
I was
find
like
out.
trolling or something. Yeah. And I'm like, what? So I pull up YouTube thinking there's not, or like there's going to be
Yeah, there's like one
his
comment.
comment on the most
Yeah.
recent thing. Like, I have no idea. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Click on the video. And sure enough, like the top like 6 comments with like dozens of upvotes each is like, wow, I expected more from Mr. Fruit. That thumbnail is a choice. And then like, like, what are you trying to like? Like something about like being racist, and then like, wow, imagine trying to erase Yasuke's character by replacing the black character with a more celebrity black person. I'm like, there's multiple. I'm like,
Yeah.
huh? Where it's not even like a. Like the best way I could put it is it wasn't even in my mind where I'm like, ooh, this could be divisive. Like, ooh, this is
Ooh,
kind of a
like-
hot take. This is edgy, right? Like,
Yeah. Like, oh,
You
the
throw it out
samurai in
there
this
and
is
you
black.
know.
Like, let me like pull up another like black guy and then like kind of, draw parallels there.
So for those that are like, what was he talking about? The thumbnail, let me see if I can at least pull it up or something. Oh, it's so tiny.
I can like throw it up like on like the video too.
Yeah,
Like,
all right. Yeah, maybe throw it up. But it's essentially Yasuke has this samurai armor. Looks sick. But I replaced the face, like I've done in many thumbnails, with a meme face. And typically they're like celebrity meme faces. And in this case, it was Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
So now immediately, because there's controversy, you might be like, oh, I see where this is going. It's the not bad Obama meme face. Just the
Which has been like a meme since like
for like at least
forever.
10 years, something. Yeah.
forever.
And the thinking behind this was I was making the thumbnail. wanted to make because I don't do like it wasn't gonna be a gameplay thing because I did it with like War Robots. I used Tom Cruise. Monster Hunter. I used Chris Hemsworth. Um, Avowed. I used whatchamacallit, Henry Cavill. Like Marvel Rivals used Ryan Gosling. Blah 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 blah. Like, I've done so
Did you
many
use Ryan
on
Gosling
many
as
times.
the Black Panther too? Like that picture? Like,
Yeah, that one was funny. People were well, and then again, people were like, unknowingly too, it just went live on the day of like Black History Month, and people were like, wow, see what you're doing. And again, too, it's just like it was just the Ryan Gosling Black Panther meme.
yeah,
Um, like that was the extent of it.
nothing
And then it's like,
deeper than
wow.
that.
That's actually
Yeah.
crazy timing though. Like, as,
Yeah, and of course it's like because I think it went live like the first day of Black History Month, and I'm just like, oh god. But so yeah, this time it's literally the samurai armor, Barack Obama going not bad, and then like a blurred out picture of like Japan, and so people are like, whoa, what are you doing? And then I'm like, this is how it went for me when I made the thumbnail. Okay, get the samurai armor in there, do a whole bunch to make it look cool, and I'm like, all right, what celebrity face am I going? I'm like, what do I think about Assassin's Creed Shadows? And the title of the video is Assassin's Creed Shadows, one of the games of all time. Like I think it's an okay game.
Yeah,
It's all right. I'm like,
some would say it's not bad.
yeah, it's not bad. Google, not bad face. What is the first thing that comes up? Oh, I'll tell you, the Obama not bad meme face. I'm like, perfect.
correct.
That's the meme. Grab, put it in. The end. That was it. So I saw all those comments, and I'm just like, and there was even somebody where it's like, yeah, I get it, but like if I was your PR person, I'd have you change it. I'm like, first off, I spent 2 hours this morning making this. I'm currently live. There's no way I'm just changing it. And two, I'm at the point where, you know what, a couple years ago, I think I would have. But now I'm at the point, I made a comment where it's like, what did I say? Some people seem to think there's more to the thumbnail. No, it wasn't a play on Yasuke. No, it's not racially or politically charged. I think the game's not bad. I Googled not bad face, and Obama's not bad meme. If you think otherwise or want to try to extrapolate some other meaning from it, so be it. But it's at the point where it's like, because what was really frustrating to me was it was early on that all the people watching this, assumedly, are my normal viewers. And even when the comments was like, wow, I expected more from Mr.Fruit. Like I thought I knew him. I guess not, because if you've been watching me for that long and you just immediately jump to something like he's trying to make an edgy racial or political, he's being race, like if you immediately jump into one of those, I would have understand. You go like, Mr. Fruit, I'm curious what's going on with the thumbnail. You know, maybe asking first or inquiring, or like you see it and maybe you think that's weird, but then asking, giving me the benefit of the doubt rather. And so it's just like, okay,
I think
if
it's
you've
just
been
people
with me
want
for
to be
that long and you still
pissed.
think that, then
Like people just want to be angry at something, like whether it's a YouTube thumbnail or something said on Fox News. You know, like people are gonna find something to be like really pissed off about. Now, the things that on Fox News is probably really justified. Save that energy for that and not on a Mr. Fruit thumbnail. Is my opinion on that.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's someone who's pointed out, and it makes sense. Like, my audience at this point leans probably more progressive because with my views and the way I make content and the safe space I've tried to create, definitely leans towards more progressive. So naturally, I've probably cultivated a more progressive community. But in that same way, there's that extreme side of the progressive where it's like the immediate, and they joke about it, but like every stereotype, whatever, has some truth to where it's like cancel culture or snowflakes. Guess what? Both sides have snowflakes. I know how, and if you're complaining about snowflakes, you're probably a snowflake on either end. I don't know how to tell you. But it's that same thing where it's just like immediately jumping. And at one point, I tried to please absolutely everybody. I would. And I would like bend over backwards, even if it was one person.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I only got so much energy. And really, the only thing that upset me were the people who were jumping into conclusions who watch my videos. Because it's like, you should have known better. Like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But why are you guys jumping the gun rather than? And so I'm just playing Assassin's Creed stream, and I'm like, what do you mean? They think I'm like, it just came out of left field. It wasn't
Uh,
even like a I put something edgy out there. Ooh. Oh, they
this-
think that? Yeah, I understand.
One of your
It's
comments
like,
is the most racist game ever made. Enjoy your paycheck.
Well,
I
I
didn't
was
even get paid.
I was looking at the comments, and it's such a funny example of exactly what you're talking about, where you just have two people on the exact opposite spectrum saying the exact same thing, but in like the different context, right? So like you have like that comment was like the most racist game ever made. That person is 100% talking about the fact that it's actually Japanese history erasure because there's one black dude in it. And then on the on the inverse end, they were like, it was the thumbnail where it was like, but damn, that thumbnail, Mr. Fruit, is a choice. And it's I don't know, it's really funny because like what happened to not everything being commentary on I think commentary on really important topics in the world is extremely important. But what happened to just a video game being a video game without having like all this
Like, everything
crazy
doesn't have
stuff,
to be, you know?
everything having all this crazy loaded thing, and a lot of that is because of the discourse of the woke DEI, cringe garbage. Definitely putting a lot of people on high alert of like, oh, so you don't like minorities? But then like on the inverse, it's like, all right, it's just Obama meme on the thumbnail, guys. And then the other side is like, they didn't even notice that. They were probably just like, uh, Obama, ew. Assassin's Creed Shadows, uh, woke DEI garbage. And then like most people are kind of just in the middle, like, hey, can I just play my video game? Like I kind of just want to like go kill things in Assassin's Creed style. Like I just kind of want
Yeah.
to.
Bro, this comment I see is just like insane. It says, still a UB flop. Forcing you to play as a female assassin is wild after being mad. 10% of people chose the female characters in Valhalla and Odyssey. Yes, the company female boss has said that. So if you want to be stealthy in this one, you have to play as female. If that's your cup of tea, do you. But being nerfed as a male assassin is wild. Like,
This is like the ultimate.
like
This is the
what?
most ridiculous form of brain of like. It's like this is mental illness. Like this is mental illness. It's like every single person who doesn't look exactly like you suddenly becomes like a massive problem. It's like, dude, none of my characters in my games have literally ever looked like remotely close to me.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't know how to
wait,
tell
you're
you
not a
this.
fucking blue penguin blue? Like
Yeah, wow.
My Final Fantasy
You can't play
character,
as a blue penguin. Where's the representation, man?
my Final Fantasy character is literally an absolutely fucking shredded Goku like character, right? And I'm just like, wow, he's really cool. Like, I want to aspire to be that guy. And I'm not over here like, I'm so tired of the woke DI garbage. I can't have a chubby fucking I can't have a chubby early 30s Hispanic dude in my video games. I think this is honestly going to be the worst game of all time because there's women in the game. I'm going to pivot and say anyone who doesn't have a penis is a bad person.
That's fair. Actually, it was true. I mean,
Like what? I don't understand.
so odd to me. Like, why playing as a chick does it piss people off so much? Like, I don't get that. Like,
one, and there's so many female lead games where, especially in recent, like nobody complained about it before because it also didn't have to be such a focal point where like I like Horizon, the whole series. Guess what? It's Aloy. It's a girl. I don't care. I liked Ghost of Tsushima. Sure, Jin was cool, but I'm equally as excited to play Ghost of Yotai, even though it's going to be a girl. Now, will I like it less? Well, that depends entirely on the story and the character. Because like
Yeah.
Jin Sakai was just written really well, so I
Yeah.
liked him. He could have also been written really poorly, and I would have been like, I didn't like that character.
yeah.
It doesn't matter who I'm playing as, genuinely.
Well, it's like
How does it make sense? The story, the character, like what?
it's like Split Fiction's like head CEO said. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but he was basically like answering questions, and somebody was like, woke females, like this is awful, and he goes, well, Brothers had two guys, this had two guys, and then we had a guy and a girl in It Takes Two, and then we have two girls in this one because they're based off my daughters. He's like, I don't care about like being woke or like being like progressive or anything like that. He's like, I care about good written characters, and I believe we have written 2 good characters here, which I agreed with. They did. Like it just doesn't. It's just funny. People just want to be upset about anything these
It's
days.
it's mental. It's literally it's some type of fucking brain rot, mental illness where it's like it's like if I see a woman, if I see a minority, suddenly, oh man, it's on the offense. Oh, these people are trying to oppress me. And it's like, dude, I don't know how to tell you this. There's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of video games coming out this year that will cater to exactly you and your tiny little worldview. Guess what? You already weren't going to play this game,
Yeah, you just wanted to
and
comment on a video.
you still
Yeah.
don't have to if it doesn't cater to you. You can just move on with your life and go play other games. You saying, I don't really like. You want to know what? Here, I'll tell you exactly. Let me pull the curtain down. Hey guys, I don't like the industry anymore because one, I don't like women, and two, I don't like black people, I don't like Asian people, and I don't like any other type of minority. I only like white men because I am not gay. I'm not
I'm
gay.
not. I'm not.
Also, gay people in video games is also bad. Anyways, can you please put more really fucking hot, jacked, ripped white men in my games?
That
Because
I can
that's my
flirt with.
favorite. Because that's my favorite, and I want them to fuck bitches. Also, can I see their penises? For no reason. I just really want to see my white, jacked, daddy man of a characters. But anyways, yes. So I don't like any of those other things. Can you please make it only those things? Because the industry deserves to be only white. That's literally what they're saying, like to a T. And like in their head, they're like, I'm so fucking masculine and cool. But outwardly, it's like, hey man, I think you need to go to therapy.
Well, the problem with all the discourse too is just like that. Right now, we have to paint these extremes because those are the people coming out with all the takes. There's a lot of reasonable people, and there's also like here's the wild thing. There's reasonable concerns about DEI, but right now it's not even a thing because they've taken it to the extreme. Like there does need to be like if there is like forced diversity for the sake and it does ruin something. Like okay, sure. But we can't even get there anymore because like now it's just like that not a
Instant.
white guy or something, like just DEI. But like okay, maybe they did something and it's like they were forced or they felt and then it did feel forced and it's like okay, actually it is clear that maybe the writing here, the story felt forced because you did this or that, whatever, sure. But that's not even in the realm of like reasonable takes anymore or like a conversation you can have because if you mention DEI now, DEI needs to DIE or all those people are terrible but it's like again it's like the small percentage this way, small percentage that way. The internet was a mistake. Social media was a mistake. They've all just decided that their opinions, because like, that's about this game too. That's the wild thing. Like, if you already know you're going to hate the game, I do not understand people who put more time and energy into it.
Yep.
I would just move on. Where it's like, oh, this isn't me. Okay. Or like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah,
That's as much real estate as I give it
but
in
that's
my
like
mind.
because
Like,
you have like I don't know a life and things to
Uh,
live for. Most people that
real,
live that
real.
way don't have anything to live for, so their things for living for things is just
Yeah.
hyper fixating on stupid bullshit that doesn't even matter because they don't have anything else going on in their lives, and that's just a fact. Like,
It's such a good point to say that like we can't even get like real criticism of like the pendulum swinging too far the other way. We're like, yeah, this does seem a little forced to like insert like like diversity policies on like certain things. We can't even get to that like discourse of like, okay, how do we critique inclusion and make it better for everyone instead of like making it turning into like a scapegoat or a totem. We can't even get there because every single time there is someone who is not a white dude, it turns into this massive discourse of which isn't. It's not even discourse. It's literally just I don't really like anyone who's not white. So then everyone loses because now we can't actually be critical in a meaningful, constructive way of how we do things in video games.
Yeah. It's
Because, well, Claire and I we just rewatched like the whole Infinity Saga in Marvel. Finally watched Endgame, and in the grand scheme, it's like a nothing burger, but it's like a little example of like DEI, where it's just like forced. And I'm sure you guys all know the scene when they're all fighting Thanos at the end, and then suddenly it's just women power, and
yeah.
there's like that really random scene where it's just like this is so on the nose that it's
It's Hollywood being like,
it
we
took
got
us
a
out.
big woman like scene here,
Yeah.
rather than it be like feeling like organic and stuff like that. Where
It was like corporate feminism moment.
yeah,
Like
and
even Claire came out of that. I didn't have to say anything. She was like, "That was weird."
even
Or like
Sydney,
that was just
I remember that.
right.
Like even Sydney said
Like you
that.
didn't even have to do. But the thing is, and Claire and I even pointed out, it's like that doesn't make sense because I think there was like a moment in Infinity War where they just had a genuine moment interaction with all female characters that made them look really cool, and just like see that like, but that was just it, and you just move, and it didn't feel forced. Like
Yeah,
it can happen, but that's the difference is when it's like in your face. So it happens, and there's like there could be discourse about that, but not anymore. And the thing is, I want people, as you all know, by this point, especially if you listen, like, yes, we all lean more progressive, but I'm also not just sitting here. It's all right. Like I'm literally talking. Most of the people who are complaining
agreed.
about my thumbnail too far on the left.
Agreed.
It goes both ways, genuinely, and I try my best to see both sides. I do, but that's just like people get too lost in going back and forth, and the problem is because both people go to absolutes, and then the problem is you try to call someone out and they react with absolutes. And the problem is those people too, like there's almost no convincing them.
No.
There's just not. And so that's why like with the thumbnail, I explained myself, but then that was it. Like I'm not
Hey,
going
good for you.
to
Change it. Like, good for you. Not like bending to that that crowd that wants you to change it for whatever reason because there's no deeper meaning. And if you're searching for that deeper meaning, you're the problem. Like you're the issue.
Well, the one comment that also like really confused me was like the erasing a black character by replacing him with a different black character or a person. And I'm like, okay, if that's your argument, I could have put any face of anyone and it would have been a problem because then I'm whitewashing.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know, like then I'm just changing it, or it's this person, or it's not a celebrity, or it's a celebrity, or it's a meme, or like it only would have been if I kept Yasuke. And the whole point was I just use a different face.
Well, and the point is, the point of a thumbnail is to make you go, "Oh, I like that. Looks funny. Like I want to click that and see what they have to say about it." It's not like, it's not that deep. Like it's like,
Yeah.
it's just,
And
I mean, the
inversely,
reason. Go ahead.
if you had made it some random white character meme in the samurai suit, they would have been like, "Oh, so you don't want him in the game because you hate you hate him." So there's literally no winning.
Well, and that's especially when I saw that comment. That's when I'm like, I'm not even like, because
not
yeah,
even
if
entertain that.
that's where you're
Like,
coming from, then it's like I can do no right. And people are like, why don't you just use Yasuke's face? Well, it's a thumbnail. Again, it's all about attention grabbing. And for me, one, I want the thumbnail to try and immediately portray in some way like, oh, this is just like a funny moments kind of video. And two, every other thumbnail is Yasuke's face if it's Yasuke's character. So like a way to separate it is to use like a different funny meme face. Otherwise, like when using gameplay, that's why it just looks so similar
well,
because everybody has like the same key art or the same screenshots. And
I saw your video and the thumbnail and before the controversy, and I literally went because it said, like you said, Assassin's Creed game is the game of all time, and then it had the Obama not bad face. So I was like, oh, like Christian thinks the game's not bad. Like that's good. Like that was
that's the goal.
that
It's
was
to read exactly like that and be like, oh, he thinks it's not bad.
yeah, that's
And in the
literally-
video, I go, like, it's exactly what I thought. It's not blowing me away.
Hey, I appreciate the
probably
little
finish it.
cameo in the video as well. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow. Was yeah, long spiel about that, but
from one woke game to another, I don't know if you guys saw this. Split fiction players beat a hidden level And they
That
won a
could have been
trip
us, Rob.
to see the developers next game. We should have gone where we shouldn't have. Like, I mean, I
Well,
saw where they went, and I was like, I would have never thought.
well, yeah, and then they're like, you got to put in a binary code, something. I'm like, all right, yeah, I would have
Yeah,
never
like
found that.
we would have been like, what's
No.
going on here? Boop, 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 and then like, oh, okay.
And then about 3 minutes, like, all right, I don't know,
Yeah, like
and then just moved on. But
I saw that you're playing Split Fiction, Blue. You should go and try and play it at some point, whenever you get to that point. And I'll be honest,
though,
it may be because I was playing Celeste. That shit did not look hard. Like that shit would have been pretty easy to beat.
I know. I was like, it took like 4 days, bro. I don't know.
That's what I think.
That's
4
what I'm
days
saying,
to
like, Rob, I found that. I mean,
that's what I mean. Like it probably took like a little bit to find it and to open it, but like as soon as you opened it, that shit probably would have taken us maybe 30 minutes. No joke.
Now that
so
we're
much
talking
better.
about Split Fiction, I know that you guys haven't. Well, I
that's
know with
real
Fruit,
quick.
he hasn't. Has hold on, I'm gonna double check your channel. Have you uploaded any of you and Rob's Split Fiction
Not yet.
playthrough?
No.
Okay, this is like a literal 30 seconds of spoilers for everyone. So more like
Okay,
a minute.
so well, first, okay, before the spoilers, I'll explain. Also, the reason Rob brought up the secret level is random up, but the cool thing was the first team who beat it, at the end of the level, it played a video of the creator of Split Fiction, and he talked, and he was essentially like, "Hey, congratulations, and on behalf of you guys being the first to beat it, we're gonna fly you guys out to Sweden to our studio to get a sneak peek at our new game." And once it was beat, he tweeted it out, mentioned the people, and so like, yeah, we're still gonna fly you out. So it's cool. That was like the whole thing. That's why, like, especially the secret level is cool. But now you can skip a forward minute, 2, 3 minutes to avoid any spoilers if you would like. So, all right, go ahead, Blue.
Yeah, this will be less than 60 seconds.
That's
How
longer than that
hard?
can last.
How hard did you guys absolutely lose? Jesus Christ, Mr. Fruit! How long did you guys absolutely lose it at the Cyberpunk level when they had you on the bike and you had to like start filling out captchas and the and then the phone call came in and then you had to read the terms of service.
Rob was the one having to do that. He's like, "This is impossible," and then it didn't help. Well, I don't know what I was Papega. I crashed like 2 or 3 times, so it kept
Yeah,
resetting. And he's
and
like,
he had
"This
to.
is
Oh,
impossible." Yeah, and he's like, "How am I supposed to complete this in time?" Uh, yeah, that was hilarious. And then yeah, the whole realizing too, like the whole point was like you could have never. I
I,
think it's so funny when they do stuff like that.
I we were literally laughing so hard and because I was going through it, and then my boyfriend was sitting there just losing his shit. He was like, "I can't believe they're doing this." He was just laughing, and he kept crashing too because he couldn't stop laughing at
Yeah,
what he was
I
seeing.
would. Yeah, I'd like look over, or sometimes I like because I was like sort of distracted. I wouldn't notice like I was supposed to turn or
Yeah,
something. And I'm like, ah, fudge.
and I couldn't believe what I was saying. It was just hilarious and funny, and there's no more spoilers from here on out, by the way, because I'm just gonna say how I felt. So if you've made it this far, congratulations, you're now spoiler free.
And to
Um,
be fair, I mean that as terms of spoilers, I mean that is like pretty light. It's a little. I mean, we're talking like a minute of the game, maybe. This fun little part.
yeah.
Um,
So anyways, there's no more spoilers, but yeah, I just had to say I am basically never surprised at video games anymore these days. Like I never like there's nothing that ever is like, wow, I really didn't expect that. But that moment, I was genuinely like, yep, I don't get surprised or shocked or like what is happening at video games lately. And that moment was like, damn, people can still who knew something as God, what's the word? We'll just say demure. We'll say something as demure and like every day as that could turn into something that genuinely like is probably going to stick with me forever as like a memory.
yeah.
So
Well,
video games are tight.
so Rob said it sounds like you haven't beat it yet, right?
No,
So I'm with you, right? It takes a lot to be surprised by video games these days. I want to hear when you beat it because this is actually a good time to bring Rob in. I'm sure he can agree.
Sorry,
It'll
I
be
was about to
spoiler
goop my
free, but
pants.
Blue was saying how he's rarely surprised in games anymore. And so I was about to tell him that, and I'm sure you would agree, once he completes the game, that final level That surprised me. That was crazy.
I will say, when we were playing Split Fiction, spoiler free, as I was playing, I was going, man, I kind of like the little nuances of like It Takes Two more. Like I feel like
Yes,
I
exactly.
feel like It Takes Two did like, you know, the little mini games. Like that was something I really missed from that It Takes Two had. That
Rob
you
just
had
wanted
like,
more competitive
yeah,
minigames.
like little more competitive kind of stuff between you and like who you were playing with, and like little bragging rights and that kind of stuff. Like I think that that part is kind of fun. But like I would say like the final act of the game, uh, probably one of the coolest things I've seen in
It's gonna be
gaming.
talked about for a while.
Yeah, probably like one of the coolest things I've seen in gaming, like a long time. Like I can't really like spoil it or
And we don't even
anything.
have to be like, look out for you will know.
Yeah, I just think
You will know when it's happening, and it was wild.
yeah
I just I was just I was just shocked. I was like, dude, that's a memory that's gonna stick with me forever, and it's just something so goofy and silly, and like it just elicited a response out of me that was just like I literally was sitting here laughing my ass off. I was listening to my boyfriend laugh his ass off, and we couldn't stop failing because it like we just couldn't believe what was happening. It just kept getting more and more ridiculous, and I was like, man, video games are really really cool. So I'm excited. I'm excited to play it. This is kind of like our date night game because that's also the game. It Takes Two is also like the game that we really bonded over. So um, it was it's just great. I also have to like say like it's so obvious that these guys could easily make like a really really cool like game of the year bait single player title, but they're just so committed to making like really cool co-op games with like really interesting mechanics behind it, like and like changing the game of like how co-op games work. So I gotta respect them for like staying true to what they're passionate about, you know. So
Well, and what I think they do so well is reminding people that video games can be so much more than like I mean, they're good games. I mean, they are, otherwise they wouldn't do as well. But like a big part of video games are the experience. And that's what they focus on is the experience between you and the person you're playing and the way that plays out and the things you'll remember. Um and like even the things because Rob and I now have done we haven't done the brothers thing, but we did the way out, It Takes Two, and then Split Fiction. And like I hardly remember games I play or like moments, but like each one of those games,
yep.
yeah,
there's at least one moment I distinctly remember, or like a couple. Either the interaction between Rob and I, or how we reacted to something in the game, or and I think that's what they just do so well is they sell that experience that's so rare in games these days, especially some of the younger audience who just like you've never grown up with couch co-op now, like you just don't know what that is.
mm,
Um, and that's probably not many people listening to this podcast, but I mean, like anyone born 2005,
7.
probably, or somewhere around there. But like, I don't know how early you started playing games. Definitely 2010, but like around 20, like 13, 14, 15, couch co-op essentially just fell off. Um, and I love multiplayer gaming. Don't get me wrong, but back in the day, you didn't. Like practically wasn't an option. Um, and so many of my early video game memories are just memories with other people playing that game, and rarely what was actually happening or like because the only core memories I have of playing like video games alone are some of the first that had such a big impact on me, like Pokemon. But like all my fondest memories are going over and playing, Melee with my friends, or trying to beat like Star Fox Adventures together, or my cousin showed me Duck Hunt for the first time, and like all those times where you shared those memories watching my brother. I didn't even play. Watching my brother play Final Fantasy VII on the PS1, or my even older brother playing the original Tomb Raider on PC, or Jurassic Park. Like those are the memories that I have, and like as time passes, those are the things that I hold on to more than like I remember when I got a nuke in Modern Warfare 3, bro. It's freaking sick. Like, sure, it was fun, but it's not what like sticks with you.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy the game, Blue. It's a good time.
It's been great so far.
Little bit of a side note here that is a little bit more for me, but is a issue I think I see in a lot of things. Counter-Strike 2 has broken another player count record. They hit a new high peak of 1.8 million concurrent players, and I believe half of those are bots. There's just no way. Like, there's just no way. Like, half of this game is just case farming bots, and this game is shit. Like, there's just no fucking way that this game is actually getting new players. I don't believe it for a second. All it is and like Valve tweets about it, or the Counter-Strike account tweets about it, like, thank you guys a ton for playing our game, and then they like quote retweet like 1.8 million a ton to be exact. And it's like, you guys are, and then like all the comments were like these bot farming lobbies, where I don't know if you guys know this, but basically they'll join these servers, these eight bots versus 8 bots, and if you somehow get in the server, all the bots will vote to kick you. So the bots will kick you out, and all the bots do is just run programmed, all shoot each other, and then throw grenades and kill each other at the same time, and then just swap rounds. And then they make the game go on as long as possible. And then when it's done, they have like more XP and can earn a case. And then they sell that case for real money. So if you own those 16 bots and you earn 16 cases, you can sell those cases for 80 cents a piece. So after, an hour of doing that with your bots, you made $16. And then you just do that over and over and over again with with thousands and thousands of bots. This game is so cooked. Like, and it makes me just like, just makes me upset. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. You guys know how I got hacked, right? And this is like where like I don't understand where like YouTube, like how they like check this stuff. Do you know how I got hacked, right? And then Elon is on my stream to a bot at 80,000 people. Okay, well, I got paid as if those were real people. Like, I got an actual like check that like from that.
Let's go.
Yeah, I got like sure, it wasn't like $1 million or anything. It was like $600-700. Like, that was that. Yeah, like then, and that's what I mean. It's like, I don't get it. Like, how people are like, what is real anymore these days in content anymore. You know what I mean? And it like, I'm not saying like, we would never know because, Kai Cenat streams 100,000 people. Well, it could be 20,000 people and they bought it for an extra 80,000 or something like that. Or it's as small as that one chick. I don't know if you guys saw her, but she accidentally put her view bot on stream, and she was only view botting her stream for an extra 20 viewers. And she got caught and got banned. But probably next stream she goes into will probably have more viewers than she's ever had before. And it just makes me question like what is real anymore today with numbers. Like, cause like 1.8 million concurrent players, no shot over like I would say like maybe 1.2 million are actual people. I guarantee you there's at least 600,000 bots in that game just farming constantly. It's just so weird. Like, it makes me so worried about like the space that we're in, that like you can just inflate yourself with numbers that nobody would really know. And it hurts real creators like Mr.Fruit here and myself that don't have, a gazillion million viewers. So it's almost like, God, do we have to do that in order to keep up with the pace? When in reality, it's like, that's just insane to even have to think about. Like, it's just sad. Like, the space of bots and all that kind of stuff. It's just weird.
People already think I view bot with how slow my chat is. They're like, there's no way there's 300 people in here and the last 10 messages are the same dude over the last 10 minutes. I'm like, bunch of lurkers, man. I don't know. Maybe I am view botting. Somebody's view botting me. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to know.
Just interesting. Just
I don't know. Maybe you get hacked again.
Yeah, I know, for real. Like, it was literally like, all right, like shit. Like, I got paid.
Thanks, Elon.
All right, like, I'm down. Anything else we want to touch on? I have a little thing here that says the specter of GTA 6 delay haunts the games industry, and it says some companies are going to tank if they guess wrong when GTA 6 is going to be released.
Yep.
Because nobody wants to go up against GTA 6. And they're fucking
They're not
worried
wrong,
that
actually.
GTA 6 is gonna like push themselves back, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Like now we got to go up
Which is
against
funny
GTA 6.
because I get why they would do it, but it also guarantees GTA 6 will succeed even more. Because if nothing's even going to come out near it anyway, it's not even like oh, but there's also this coming. It's just like, well, but granted, like, of course, you're some AAA company. You just spent 6 years and however much money, and you're like, if we even release within like a month before, you probably like a month before is probably as far as they can go. And then post, I have no idea. You got to give it. But like, let's say GTA 6 is like, yeah, we're dropping October. That's when all the games drop, like September, October, November. So you're just gonna be like, well, I don't know. It is gonna be wild. It's gonna shake things up. Um, and I know there's rumors it's gonna be priced more. We'll see how people respond to that. So I think the rumor is I will guess it'd be like base is like $100 or something. And I don't know how I feel about like everything else is increasing in price except video games.
Mhm.
And video game like there was a cutout, for instance, of like 2008 PS3 prices. PS3 games were $70. That was 17 years ago. They're still $70. And I get it, like, well, one, the game has to be worth the price and stuff, but like also that's why games are more expensive, but it's harder to get profit. That's why I love indie games. But that's why, like, at some point, the price will have to be bumped up again, and everyone's going to lose their collective minds. But at some point, too, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how they can just sit at the same price for forever while everything. Meanwhile, my eggs cost a full AAA game right now. You know, so
I
I know
thought he
it's
was
tough,
supposed to
but
fix that.
me
At
too.
least we have TikTok.
And the brand new Mr. Fruit
Oh,
Jowlin.
yeah. Let me see that
Wow.
thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. You too. Claire, help with the art. You too can get the Advanced GG Mr. Fruit Jowlin. That's a gallon jug. You can stay hydrated all day, just like me. That's actually what I do. You just
Drink
start
it.
at the beginning of the day. Yeah, you fill it all the way up, and then by the end of the day,
You got to have it gone.
you finish it. Use code Mr. Fruit 15 for 15% off. There's also a new mouse pad for pre-order and a limited Mr. Fruit lemonade, whatever you call it. But then as far as availability, I know people have asked, it's not going away in 2 weeks. The code's going away in 2 weeks, but the Jowlins will be there as long as we have availability. Probably not going to be running out. And I don't know how many of you guys are going to buy this thing. I mean, I didn't really tell Peter that. I was like, I don't know how many of these are going to sell.
But I would love
I
to
just
have
always wanted
one.
to make I just always wanted to make one. So get it whenever you want.
Got a question here from Jimmy. Because I haven't watched Korra, but the announcement of the new Avatar thing seems to have people hating Korra. Can I get a summary, parentheses, and maybe your guys' thoughts on what happened and why the new series means Korra fucked up?
Oh.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't either.
No further questions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll give you
enlighten us.
I'll give you a really basic rundown. So they did release a synopsis, and the basic synopsis of the entire new series is that it's called Seven Havens because apparently like some cataclysmic event happened in the Avatar universe and like the world where like now the world or like society is split into seven safe zones. Um and so basically the world went through like some type of extremely bad thing, and these seven safe zones are now the bastions of humanity. And apparently, based on the synopsis they released, the new Avatar has to find out why this cataclysm happened and why the world now hates Korra, because a lot of people associate this cataclysm uh, with the previous Avatar. And so a lot of people in this new world apparently hate the Avatar because now everything outside of these havens is like apocalyptic, right?
The DEI
So
wasteland.
DEI wasteland, exactly. DEI wasteland. So, in the previous Korra, I mean, nothing happens in the previous Korra that is applicable to the new show so far. Because the previous Korra, there's literally nothing about this
So
crazy
is it
cataclysmic event.
insinuating something between the end of Korra and this happens? Is that
Yeah, pretty much. They're pretty much insinuating something happens between the Korra show to this. You know, some in between lore happens to cause the events of Avatar: Seven Havens. So,
I mean, I
so to
think
answer
it's
your
more
question,
interesting.
we have no idea about anything besides the synopsis they released, and nothing in the core show gives us a hint of that either. So,
I think that's interesting because it makes it less predictable.
100%.
Like don't know where it's gonna go, and I mean, I guess feels bad because I mean, practically since Aang anyway, Avatar's been getting a bad rap. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much, yep.
But I also think it's pretty realistic to what it would be to real life. Like, imagine there's one dude in the world, and he's supposed to just fix all of our problems. Of course, everyone's gonna find somewhat like, well, he didn't save my kid from cancer. You know, like there'll always be some ways like, well, where's the Avatar? You know, like just
From the
like
yeah,
if they're superheroes, it's like, well, where's Superman right now? He's not saving those kids in the burning bus. Does he really care? You know?
and I will say I have to appreciate that the show has literally always been open about like yeah, being the Avatar, super messy. They're not just superheroes. Like there's a whole lot of baggage that comes with being the Avatar, and you see it all the time in the show.
And they're normal human. Like it's not like they're holier than thou, and they're just born with all the knowledge, and like they're just figuring it out too. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm
The
excited.
only thing, honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to it because maybe if there's this weird cataclysm, it becomes less postmodern. Because that was really the only thing I didn't like about Core was the future aspect. And they could be going an alternate future. Like it doesn't have to necessarily follow the exact modernization since they kind of hit like the industrialization age.
I
I just
imagine
like
it.
my more feudal stuff.
I imagine progress will definitely slow down when some cataclysm happens, and now everyone's essentially in these like safe bubbles. I don't know
Or
if
what
that's
if we
like
find
actually.
out the cataclysm was Core figuring out how to make a elemental nuke, and so it's elemental radiate, like fallout everywhere
Oh
else.
shit!
And she went genocidal. She's like, you know, the best way to keep all of us safe is if no one is safe.
Humanity,
Yeah.
humanity
Oh,
evil. What I'm expecting though is 100% that like some cataclysm happens and like Korra actually has to stop it. But in stopping it, she pretty much like the only way to save the world was by like having these small safe zones. And
Kind
so
of like
like
the
everyone is
Avengers.
so yeah, exactly. And so like the only choice was unfortunately like to save everyone. There was no good option. And so she chose the best one. And now everyone's like, well, well, we're in this situation because of them, and so I'm expecting that's what I'm expecting of them being like, the Avatar is a little bitch, and it's like the Avatar did the best that they could. You're here because of them, but everyone's like, yeah, well, I lost half my family because the Avatar didn't save the entire world. Fuck that guy.
And then it seems like every next Avatar just keeps getting a shorter and shorter stick, man.
Oh,
Like
I
you're
kind of
the
love
Avatar.
that though.
No, man.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
kind
be
of love that
kidding.
though.
Like, oh God.
It makes great drama.
It does.
um, next question here. From Very says I've recently got into the bazaar. Parentheses. I hate you, Rob. Fruit. How do you tell how strong you are?
I'm assuming if they like go board state.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh just kind of game knowledge. I mean, when you have more reps essentially, then you know at this day the typical curve. And granted, this also changes, like the power level changes on every patch. And some patches it's harder to determine. Like right now, it's kind of hard to determine because like day ones with kits, you got a really bad enchanted item, and you go up against somebody who high rolled like a gold skill. It's really hard to tell going in. Where it's like I've had day one builds where I'm like, oh, I'm cooking. Like we hit the stud. This is a crazy day one, and I lost. So even though like there's a general way to be like, okay, I know I'm strong. Um, but that changes, and it's not really like a flow chart of just being able to be like, well, if this check, if this check, if this okay, it must be strong. Um, but typically, how early? Like you could have a build that day 10, I'd be like, yeah, your board's pretty weak. But if you somehow hit that board on day 5, well, suddenly it's a lot stronger. So there's all those kind of nuances, and especially when you get later, it's kind of just a mixed bag of like, I don't know, it's day 13, so God only knows. Like last night, I was helping Claire through a run. I was feeling good, man. I was like, dang, this is insane. But we got to
Yeah.
win a day 14 fight to get to 10 wins. And I'm like, as long as they, I don't know, it's going to be tough. We have like 17,000 health. Once we use an item, we get like 8,000 shield. We have all these things going off, and it's like infinite charge. I'm like, there's no way. Click battle. Boop. And we lost. Okay, well, and it's like, we had a crazy build.
They just had
And
a
they had a
crazier
crazier
one.
one. Yeah. So it's easier earlier days when you have more knowledge and game time. Later it gets harder. And then also just keep that in mind. Because I always get frustrated too, and it's like, dude, I hit the freaking nuts. Yeah, but guess what? You and everyone else. So just remember there's always a bigger fish. Or you can always like no matter your build, there's always gonna be something that could counter it. You just don't know until you're like it flips over and you go, oh God. Um so that's also how like because like Claire, if she lost a 10 win on her ninth, she's like, I'm uninstalling this game, never playing this game again. For me, I'm like, that's frustrating. All right, we go again.
Yeah.
I've done enough time and I understand that that's part of the game. It's frustrating, but also I'm sure my builds have done that to other people. And there are times where I get 10 wins when I'm like, I'm so weak. And then I hit a low roll and I'm like, wow. Or like, and that's just the game.
Storm Virus says, what does the perfect day for each of you look like from the moment you wake up and when you go to bed?
Oof.
I can start. Wake up, have a nice shower, have a good stream, get off around like 4 or 5 around dinner time, make Sydney a nice meal, because she actually works, and has to deal with working. And then make a good dinner and like chill and watch a show or something like that with our cats. That's like the perfect day for me. Very simple.
Well, perfect day for me. Well, the night before I got a solid 8 hours.
Nice.
Wake up, have all my stuff ready for me. Make sure I had my clothes picked out for me the night before if I remembered that. Take Boomy out, eat a good breakfast, probably like one of my protein shakes, or if it's if I'm feeling special, maybe make some eggs. It's obviously the weekend. Um, I hop on a video game while I wait for my partner to wake up. My partner wakes up. I'm like, wow, poggers. We probably sit around and do nothing for a little bit. We probably end up going to lunch because it's such a nice day. And then we come home and we play video games all night, and then I go to sleep. That sounds perfect to me.
Waking up and getting out of bed at 6. I've been better about because now my alarm makes me do squats. So wake up at 6, get out of bed, take care of the puppies, go to the gym, knock out a good gym sesh, come back, get whatever I want to get done, whatever that might be, whether it's videos, works, chores, errands, whatever. And then, well, the perfect day, I don't have these, because then I would do that at some point, be able to tell my brain that's enough, get off, and then have no problem finding out what to do in free time, enjoying it, spending a lot of that time with Claire, uh, eating some food that won't upset my stomach that I like, and maybe hopefully it's a nice day too, like summer. Maybe go out in like hammock for a while, sunbathe, and wrap it up around like 10:30. Get some sleep again. Go again. The perfect day for me is just being content. What I'm trying to get to.
All you need. One lax says, what mythology do you want to see Kratos in next? Christianity.
I'll commit, man. I was talking about that when I was playing Assassin's Creed, but like my least favorite thing about Vikings, or even in Shadows, the Catholics are coming, um, and it's just like my least favorite thing about Vikings shows and games is just knowing at some point the Christians are going to show up, and then suddenly it's religious wars and blah blah blah. Just romanticize it. Show me some freaking Vikings, bro, and we're just like, can we just have knights beating each other up and maybe a little low fantasy? I don't need the religion stuff, man. But could you also imagine the backlash if Kratos has to kill Jesus? You know,
Yeah,
can't imagine the
right.
Western world would take quite as well to that as some of like the other mythos. Um,
Well, I think Greek people handled it pretty well, so I think they'll be fine.
uh, I mean, I know we're getting a lot of Japan stuff, but I certainly wouldn't mind like any Eastern, like it could be Chinese mythology, Japanese mythology. Um, I mean, those would probably be the big ones I'd like to see. I forget what the rumor is. Maybe the rumor for the next one's Egyptians or something. I can't remember. But yeah, I think I'd like one of the Eastern mythologies, like a Wukong kind of situation.
And then what was yours, Blue? You have one?
I don't know. I kind of part of the reason I like it is because it's kind of a surprise. I guess. Mm, I can tell you. I can tell you when I'm excited. There's too many cultures that every single one of them would be sick.
Well,
But Christianity is a good start.
yeah, that's or Mormonism. That'll do it for the GG Over Easy podcast. Appreciate you guys all chilling and hanging out and listening. We'll catch you guys next week. We're not doing an intro. We started with like a cold open type of thing. So that's
Yeah,
kind
try
of.
something new. We'll
See you
see.
next week.
Deuces.